Hello and welcome back to First Place TV. My name is Tumelo Makgakga. I'm a qualified chartered accountant, a registered tax practitioner, and a registered auditor. Today I'll be addressing the question, which banking details does SARS use? It has actually come to my attention that this is actually a very serious problem or a very serious question. People actually don't know how to pay SARS if they owe SARS. So stay tuned. We'll address that and we'll talk about how do you go about paying SARS, what steps do you follow, and to make sure that you pay to the right account and the money reflects in your account for the relevant taxes that you will be paying in that instance. Stay tuned. Now, okay, paying SARS. So firstly, we need to clarify that if you go to the SARS website, you will not find any banking details. If you go to e-filing, you won't find any banking details stipulated to say banking institution, account number, check or savings. No, there is no such. So SARS, if you want to pay SARS, SARS has what is called accounts with all the major banks in South Africa. They have an account with all the major banks in South Africa, and how you pay them is it's registered as a public beneficiary. SARS is registered as a public beneficiary with all the major banks here in South Africa. So if you want to pay SARS, you have to go into your own bank account. And I'm talking about if you want to pay SARS manually. So you want to literally take the amount that you owe, log into your banking details and pay SARS. That's the manual way of doing it. Now, if you want to pay SARS manually, you go to whichever bank that you use. I know of the major banks. I know that SARS has an account with all the major banks here in South Africa. You go to your major bank and go to public beneficiaries. So you would typically go to pay, add new beneficiary, but now you don't specify the banking details. You need to go search under public beneficiary, or depending on which bank you bank with, it would either say public beneficiary, registered beneficiary, verified beneficiary, or something along those lines. Now you need to search under that section for SARS. Now, depending on which taxes you want to settle, whether it's VAT, whether it's income tax, whether it's payroll tax, depending on which tax you want to settle, you need to, when you find SARS, you need to now search within SARS, you need to search SARS and the relevant tax that you want to pay. So for example, if I want to pay VAT, I will go to the public beneficiary, search for SARS, and then when I get to that, it will show me different options that are available for SARS. Then I will say SARS-VAT. Then it will appear, I would select that. And then now the key part is to make sure that you use the correct payment reference number. So in your statement of account that you would have received from SARS, because now you want to pay, there will be a what is called a payment reference number. This number is unique in each case. So like in my example, if I want to pay for VAT, depending on which VAT period I want to set, which VAT period I want to pay, I would have to go to the relevant period on my statement of account, extract that payment reference number, and then use that as a reference when I'm paying SARS in my banking app. Now, that payment reference number is important. It is also important for you to know that the first part of that reference number is made up of your tax reference number. So in my example of VAT, it will be made of my VAT number, and then there will be a unique number attached in the end, but it always has a reference to the tax that you want to pay. Now, having done that, EFT payment to SARS, payment could take up to about an hour to reflect. So you are able to log in back into e-filing and check if your payment is reflecting. Another option that you have, if you've got an e-filing profile, you can ask your accountant to push the payment through e-filing. So within e-filing, we are able to, as accountants and people who work on e-filing, we are able to push the payment into your banking, into your online banking. And all you would need to do, depending on which bank you use, like for example, if you use an FNB, you would just have to go and log into your bank and authorize the payment. This eliminates the whole process of having to make sure that you use the correct reference number. What if I use the incorrect reference number? Will my payment get to SARS? What if, all those what ifs are eliminated if you use it's more automated, the more automated option as opposed to the manual option when paying SARS. So I actually prefer the e-filing option where a payment is pushed through e-filing. I then log into my bank and then authorize the payment or release the payment using that functionality, because then I don't have to worry about, oh, did I use the correct reference number, or all of those things. However, if it does happen that, let's say you make the payment, manual payment, you put in your reference number, and for some reason maybe you allocate it in the incorrect period, or you use an incorrect reference number. For sometimes when you use an incorrect reference number, your bank will kick it back and say that the reference number is incorrect. However, sometimes you could use, maybe your accountant gives you reference numbers every month, and now you use last month's reference number this month as well. So all you would need to do in that case is to just request for the payment to be allocated, and then once it's allocated, everything should be fine. But between them, you now have to decide whether you prefer to pay SARS manually or you prefer the more automated route using e-filing. Ladies and gents, as you know, at First Place Assurance and Advisory, we are registered accountants, registered tax practitioners, and registered auditors. So should you have any questions about the things I was discussing today, the topic I was talking about today, or even in previous times, do not hesitate to reach out to me or anyone within my team. We are well qualified and people who are working on these things on a day-to-day basis. So be sure to reach out using the details that you see on the screen. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Ciao.